The next 7 days will not change your life because of luck. They will not change your life because of motivation. And they will not change your life because of inspiration alone. The next 7 days will change your life only if you decide to change what you do, how you think, and how you act in every single moment of those 7 days. Because life is not transformed in one big moment. Life is transformed in small decisions repeated daily. Life is transformed in discipline when no one is watching. Life is transformed in consistency when there is no applause, no motivation, and no instant reward. Right now, you may feel like change is something big and distant, something that happens later, something that starts tomorrow or next week or when the time is right. But the truth is simple. There is no perfect time. There is no perfect condition. There is no perfect version of you waiting in the future. There is only the present moment and what you choose to do with it. So let me ask you something seriously. What if the next 7 days were the most important 7 days of your life so far? What if these 7 days decided the direction of your next 7 months? What if these 7 days decided whether you grow or stay the same? Because that is how life actually works. Not in dramatic changes, but in direction shifts. Most people do not fail because they are incapable. Most people fail because they are inconsistent. They start strong, but they do not continue. They feel motivated, but they do not stay disciplined. They dream big, but they act small. And slowly, over time, that gap between what they want and what they do becomes their reality. But here's the truth that can change everything. In just 7 days, you can start becoming a completely different version of yourself. Not a perfect version, but a better version, a stronger version, a more focused version, a more disciplined version. In 7 days, you can build momentum. In 7 days, you can break a bad habit. In 7 days, you can create a new routine. In 7 days, you can prove to yourself that you are capable of change. But only if you treat these days differently. Because if you treat these 7 days like every other week, nothing will change. But if you treat these 7 days like a mission, everything can change. Let's talk about discipline. Discipline is not about feeling ready. Discipline is not about feeling motivated. Discipline is not about waiting for energy or confidence. Discipline is doing what you said you would do, even when you do not feel like it. Especially when you do not feel like it, because feelings are temporary. Feelings change every hour. Feelings cannot be trusted to build your future. But actions can. Actions are real. Actions are powerful. Actions create results. And results are what slowly change your identity. And once your identity changes, everything in your life starts to change with it. So for the next 7 days, you must decide something important. You must decide that you will not negotiate with excuses. You must decide that you will not delay important work. You must decide that you will not waste time on things that do not matter. You must decide that you will not live on autopilot. Because most people are not living their life. They are reacting to it. They wake up, scroll, consume, distract themselves, procrastinate, and repeat the same cycle again and again. And then they wonder why nothing changes. But change does not come from wondering. Change comes from deciding. Change comes from acting. Change comes from doing what others avoid. Let me tell you something very clearly. The life you want is not complicated. It is not hidden. It is not impossible. It is simply behind discipline. It is behind consistency. It is behind effort. It is behind saying no to comfort and yes to growth. And yes, growth is uncomfortable. Growth feels slow. Growth feels boring. Growth feels like nothing is happening at first. And that is exactly why most people quit. They quit before results appear. They quit before momentum builds. They quit when it is still early and invisible. But everything important in life starts invisible. A seed does not become a tree overnight. A body does not become strong in one workout. A skill does not develop in one day. A successful life does not build in one moment. It builds quietly. It builds slowly. It builds through repetition. And one day the results become visible. But only for those who did not quit early. So understand this deeply. The next 7 days are not about perfection. They are about direction. You do not need to change your entire life in 7 days. You only need to change your direction in 7 days. You only need to prove to yourself that you can stay consistent. You only need to prove to yourself that you can follow through. You only need to prove to yourself that you are not controlled by your excuses. Because once you prove that, everything else becomes easier. Confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is something you build through action. Every time you act when you do not feel like it, you build confidence. Every time you stay consistent, you build identity. Every time you choose discipline, you build strength. Slowly, without even realizing it, you become a different person. So do not underestimate the next 7 days. Do not treat them like ordinary time. Treat them like a test of focus, a test of discipline, a test of commitment, a test of who you are becoming. Because at the end of these 7 days, one of two things will happen. Either you will be exactly the same person, or you will be slightly better, slightly stronger, slightly more disciplined than before. And that slightly better version is where real transformation begins. So take this seriously. Stop waiting. Stop delaying. Stop overthinking. Start acting. Start showing up. Start doing the work. Because the next 7 days will not magically change your life, but you can change your life in the next 7 days. And when you continue showing up for these 7 days, something very powerful starts happening inside you. At first, nothing feels different. You will still feel the same resistance. You will still feel the same laziness. You will still feel the same distractions calling your name. But something else will start changing quietly. Your self-respect. Because every time you do what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it, you start building trust with yourself. And that trust is more powerful than motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but self-trust stays. And once you start trusting yourself, your entire life begins to shift. You stop needing external pressure. You stop needing reminders. You stop needing emotional motivation videos just to act. Because now your identity starts changing from someone who tries to someone who follows through. And that shift is everything. Now, understand something very deeply. Your biggest enemy is not time. Your biggest enemy is not resources. Your biggest enemy is not your situation. Your biggest enemy is inconsistency. Because inconsistency destroys momentum. And without momentum, nothing moves forward. That is why most people feel stuck for years. Not because they are not capable, but because they keep starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping. And every restart costs energy, confidence, and belief. But when you stay consistent, even at a small level, something different happens. You begin to build rhythm, and rhythm turns into momentum, and momentum turns into results, and results turn into confidence, and confidence changes everything. So these 7 days are not just about action, they are about building rhythm inside your life. A rhythm where you wake up and you move forward. A rhythm where you don't negotiate with your goals. A rhythm where you don't delay what matters. Because delay is dangerous. Delay slowly destroys urgency. And without urgency, life becomes passive. And a passive life never creates greatness. So you must be intentional. Every hour matters. Every decision matters. Every small action matters. Because these small actions are silently building your future version. And that future version of you is not created in one big moment. It is created in thousands of small decisions. So for the next 7 days, you must become extremely aware of one thing. What are you feeding your mind? What are you giving your time to? What are you allowing to control your attention? Because whatever controls your attention controls your direction. And your direction decides your destiny. So stop giving your attention to things that pull you backward and start giving your attention to things that push you forward, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it feels slow, even if it feels like nothing is happening yet. Because change is not loud at the beginning. Change is silent. But silent change is the strongest change. It builds underneath everything. Until one day, it becomes visible in your actions, your mindset, and your results. So do not rush the process. Respect the process. Because these 7 days are not about becoming perfect. They are about becoming better than yesterday. And if you keep stacking better than yesterday days, you will eventually become someone completely different. Not overnight, but inevitably. So stay focused, stay consistent, stay committed, and do not stop.